Hey everyone, welcome back to round 4 of the European Club Cup. This next game is played between Liren and Peter Svidler. Svidler has been having a rough tournament so far, having lost his first 2 games. So can he stop the bleeding? In this game, Liren with white and Peter Svidler with the black pieces. Ding opens with d4, we have knight f6, c4, g6, f3 from Ding, the anti-Grunfeld system. Knight c6, d5, knight to e5, e4, d6, knight c3, c6 challenging white center. We have f4 from Ding gaining more space, knight e to d7, knight to h3 preparing to reroute to f2, knight c5, this puts more pressure on e4. We have knight f2 from Ding, bishop g7, bishop e2, black castles, bishop to e3, c takes d5, c takes d5, and queen to a5 from Svidler, with the immediate threat of taking on e4 because this knight on c3 is currently pinned. Therefore white castles, bishop d7 and e5 from Ding. So Ding has to be quite happy with the way the opening has progressed so far because he has managed to obtain this nice central pawns and also a space advantage in the center. Knight e8 from Svidler. We have queen to d4, giving more protection to e5. Knight a4 from Svidler, trying to trade off some pieces. We have knight takes a4, queen takes a4, and rook a to c1. So this sets a trap for black because if queen takes a2, here after rook a1, queen b3 the only square, then bishop d1. So you cannot play queen b6 because after queen takes, pawn takes, then this rook hangs. So here queen b5 is the only square, but bishop a4 wins material. After queen moves, you take on d7, and also this queen is now attacked. Black can try and capture the queen, but with queen takes d4, but white just has a very pleasant position due to his space advantage in the center and also his control of the open c file. And also black's knight is quite horribly placed on e8. So after rook ac1, we have queen to a5 from Svidler, knight to e4, just bringing the knight to a nice central square. Bishop b5, exchanging off the light square bishops. Bishop takes b5, queen takes b5, b3 from Ding, and here d takes e5 from Svidler. He now tries to bring his knight into the game. After f takes e5, knight d6, taking advantage of the fact that this pawn is currently pinned. Bishop f4. So here, why not rook c7? Well, you have to see what black is threatening in this position. Black can go knight to f5. So here, bishop to f4 from Ding. We have rook a to c8, challenging the open c file. And here knight to c3, so Ding avoids trading knights, and also this comes with tempo on the queen. Queen to a5. We have queen to d3, unpinning, and also now this knight is under fire. So knight to f5, and here g4 from Ding, taking advantage of the fact that this knight doesn't have many squares. If knight to h6, then after h3, this knight doesn't have anywhere to go to. So here, queen b6 check from Svidler. We have king to h1 and queen d4. So hoping for queen takes d4 and knight takes d4. Here, white has a very nice move in the position, queen to f3. So this forces the knight to bad square. For example, if knight h6, then because this knight is no longer on f5, these squares are no longer guarded by the knight. So tactics with d6 become possible. For example, rook f d1, and after queen b4, white can go d6. This vacates the d5 square for white's knight. And after, if that is taken, then you go knight d5, attacking the queen and also threatening a nasty fork on e7. So black would have to give up his queen. This is winning for white. So here, if black tries knight to h4, then white simply goes queen to e4. And if things are exchanged off, then this knight is quite awkwardly placed here and if knight f3, trying to bring the knight back into the game. Then d6, and after that is taken, white has a very strong pawn on d6. So this is also good for white. So queen to f3 is a very nice move for white in this position, but Ding goes for queen to e4, which is also good. After queen takes e4, we have knight takes e4, knight d4, so threatening to go knight e2. Rook c d1 from Ding. Knight e2, bishop g5, looking at e7, and f6 from Svidler. So Svidler gives up a pawn to exchange of pieces in hopes of defending against white's dangerous d5 pawn. So here, if Svidler were to go bishop takes e5, then simply take on e7, and after a rook after e8, then d6, and white has a very good position. So here, after e takes f6, we have e takes f6, knight takes f6, so Ding is currently up a pawn. Bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight c3, rook d4, and rook c to d8 from Svidler, putting pressure on this pawn on d5. Bishop takes d8 from Ding. We have rook takes f1, king g2, and rook to f7. So preparing to play rook d7 in order to defend against this strong d5 passed pawn. d6 from Ding, rook d7, bishop g5, and here ideas like knight to b5 followed by taking on d6 don't really work, because after rook d5, knight takes d6, bishop f4 pins the knight, and white wins. So here king to f7 is probably the best try, bringing the king closer to this dangerous passed pawn. But Svidler plays knight takes a2, and this sort of sidetracks the knight. And Ding punishes this immediately with bishop d2. So for the moment, this knight is trapped. b5 from Svidler, hoping to free the knight with ideas like b4 followed by knight to c3. But Ding plays b4, stopping that idea. King to f7, and rook to d3 from Ding, threatening to go rook to a3, winning the knight. And it was in this position that Peter Svidler resigned the game. So with this win, Ding extends his unbeaten streak to 91 games, only 4 short of Mikhail Tal's legendary streak of 95 unbeaten games. So that is all for this video, and if you found this content enjoyable, do subscribe for more future content. I would greatly appreciate it as well. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.